Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're going to be taking a look at two of the top pros in the world. It's going to be Action up here in the top right of Kickback going up against Rush. These two, it's very rare when you get like even an ASL round of 8 without both of these players in it. Two of the most consistent players out there, neither of them actually champions as of yet. I do think Rush is eventually going to win a championship. He's, you know, like for my money, he might be the best Terran out there. I'd still kind of give it to Light, but and obviously like Flash, but Flash doesn't really play tournaments right now, so we're not really super counting him. But yeah, Rush is unbelievable. But Action, on the other hand, it's like Action is so good and so strong, but can't quite deliver. I don't know what it is exactly that has gone wrong with Action's play, because he just got better and better and better. Now he's like always round of 8 pretty much, but can't overcome that hump. So I'm not sure what that is, but hopefully he can deal with it. But I'm not holding my breath for him to like win an ASL or anything like that. Okay, so taking a look at these builds, you can make a Zergling tight wall here, but this was a forward 8 racks, and you can notice that he's put it way on this side. The Marines will pop out right here, right? So if you put them here, they're gonna have to walk around. He put it here so they can go out. He could still make the solid wall, or he can even float this back a little bit and make it so Marines pop out on the inside. So a defensive stance ready for this 8 racks play. Now, double SCV is going to go out and scout, and unfortunately for Rush, he's going to find that Action is cross spawn. So yeah, we're gonna see this Rush probably not really do that much damage. It would be pretty surprising if it did get real damage. And in fact, 8 racks in general on this map I find a little bit weird, because normally 8 racks you're like threatening the hatchery that would be at a natural. Here, what do? You like walk in onto their area, and then what? What's the plan with an 8 racks on this map? It's kind of like how Nexus First is very hard to rush here on Kickback. Just the how far you have to go, the drones will just destroy you. So I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not sure why you would ever 8 racks here. I think it's okay to try things and just kind of see how it goes, but just looking at the map, it seems like one of the worst maps for an 8 racks I've ever seen. I don't think he's even going to kill one drone. Now, Action is playing Ring Around the Rosie here with his drones. Oh, he is going to lose a drone. What? Pulls that hurt drone to the side a little bit there. All right, throwing down the bunker. Like, I mean, you can kind of force drones to come fight, but I don't... Like, look, it's cross spawn as well, but... Okay, he is going to lose that one. No? Is he actually not? He's just literally going to lose 0 drones, and he's going to kill all the Marines. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Don't go 8 racks on Kickback. It literally just doesn't make sense. You're putting so little pressure on. If this was a regular map with a natural in front, you actually pull like 7 drones, not 4. So he pulled 4, ran them around a little bit, then made lings and cleared everything out. Really not any damage. For sure, Action is ahead right now. So at the moment, we have a Rush taking his expansion, getting a quick gas. He'll probably here be going into a fast engineering bay. That would be my guess. I mean, there's a world in which he could go factory. This Marine not going to make it home, so does just turn that one around. Yeah, there's the engineering bay. So going to be trying to follow up with a fast +1. That's pretty normal for these 8 racks plays. The thing is, this is not that slow, the layer. So it's actually going to be hard for Rush to even afford the 4 racks. Normally 8 racks like slows down the layer substantially, but this was only slowed by about 14 seconds. So you haven't gained as much time as you normally do with the 8 racks, right? So like basically 8 racks, like they'll have to bring more drones out. Gas mining and getting the layer going is kind of a secondary priority to not losing drones. Here, the fact that it was just not stalled out that much, but the command center was stalled out much more in comparison, it doesn't look like Rush is going to have a great economy Like, if he wants to get 4 racks up, I think he has to cut some SCVs even, which is no good. But we'll see about that. And we'll see what SCV count he ends up on here. So there's 3 racks. I guess he's not really producing too many Marines. So that's one way you can cut costs a little bit. There we go. Gets up into his next depot. And the Spire is about to finish, all right? So here we go. We're going to have 4 mutas and obviously a few more as those larvae and minerals become available. So there's the 4th barracks. So he gets up to the 4. We are getting the 2 comsats here as well. 32 SCVs. So he's right on the borderline of where you want to be before you start your turrets. It's really 32, 33 SCVs are really kind of required to get your turrets started. So we'll see if he nails those turret timings. He does have the comsats coming up, so he can kind of double check on the timing, and he sees the mutas popping. So he literally has to start his turrets right this second. He needs something up here. I don't know if he needs to start one here, but he definitely needs one down here. Yeah, so there's one. Yeah, there's one. Here's 3. This is smart. This is like the most dangerous area. Much harder to get his Marines and medics up there to defend. This one, yeah, okay. So yeah, it looks like he's just going to nail everything just barely in 34 SCVs. So that's pretty solid. He did recover this build very, very well. I thought that he was going to be just slightly behind this spot. Like, I was thinking he might be on 30 SCV 4 racks, or maybe he'd stop at 3 racks, something like that. But he gets his turrets up exactly in the nick of time, despite kind of a failed 8 racks opener. Action taking his 3rd hatchery. One thing to remember is that there's only 3,000 gas in these geysers. So even though you can get the 3 gas very quickly, it does not last. So you're really going to have to focus on getting other gases as well. Now, Action in here actually shredding the Marine count, right? That is the one thing that we mentioned before, is he wasn't making that many Marines. That's one area that he did cut to be able to afford everything else. So the Marine count, not that high, and the Muta's actually able to get a little bit of additional damage because of that. They killed off a few Marines there and get a few SCVs as well before flying out. But the factory's already started, so Rush is going to be able to refill that SCV count pretty well. Also, the 4 racks play that he's gone for, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't think it's any good on this map. Like, I don't think the 8 racks is any good. I don't think the 4 racks is any good. The 4 racks, you're trying to pressure so you can maybe kill the 3rd. The 3rd's free here. So there's only one place you could possibly pressure. So it's not... Like, what does it do? It's like if he needs sunkens, he makes them, and he's still got 3 gas, so your 4 racks is not actually doing all that much. I do think a faster starport would be a much better play here. Now, he is getting the factory add-on, so we probably will see a tank push coming up. Now, the Muta's diving into this natural expansion, killing off 2 of the turrets already, actually taking a lot of damage there on those Mutas to the south. Gets rid of all the turrets, so definitely will get some damage here. The Marines and medics are running back to try to help. But Action's Muta's doing a very, very good job here overall. By the way, we do have the armory coming up, so it's going to be Valkyrie, Siege Tank, Marine Medic push. Which, you know, it's a very strong build, very decisive build that Rush has chosen here. I think it actually pairs pretty well with the fact that he decided to go 4 racks. And, you know, here's the thing about Action here. He's actually, you can see, right, this is what I was talking about, where it's like, okay, well, we have 4 sunks, like... I guess you're going to have to push through there. There's nowhere else. But he hasn't gone for a particularly quick Queen's Nest, right? So basically, if you don't start the Queen's Nest, by the time the factory's about halfway done, then the Siege Tank timing push, like if you make 2 Siege Tanks with Siege Mode and push out immediately, that is actually going to be able to threaten killing you before Dark Swarm is ready. Okay, now this Queen's Nest is starting after a Siege Tank is already out. So Rush has the time to pull this push off. 100% he has the time. It's just about getting the right army and getting across the map. Action obviously has a lot of mutas. He has great micro. He can do things like counterattacks. He could slow you down with Sunken some, but if both the Siege Tanks get across, it will be pushed through no matter how many he makes, because again, his defilers are going to be so late. So basically, Action needs to do something with his mutas, whether that is killing tanks, whittling the Marine force down enough that he can actually break through the army, something like that. But the Valkyries are going to make that tough, right? If you wait for the 2nd Valkyrie and you make a 3rd tank, I actually think he should make a 3rd tank, in my opinion. I think that would actually be a very good play here, even though, like, the most modern tank pushes are 2 tanks, just to make that clear. It's faster with 2, and you don't necessarily need the 3rd. But in this particular situation, I'm like, I think a 3rd tank feels good here. But anyways, whatever. The Mewtwo's going to counterattack, and, like, yeah, they definitely have some potential here. But look at this. The Valkyrie's coming up, dealing a lot of damage. And that's going to make it really hard on those Mewtwo's. Now, how do you actually stop this push? I feel like Action did everything really well this game, except for the Queen's Nest timing. Maybe overmade the Mewtwo's slightly. He didn't take any damage from the 8 racks. So, like, when you don't take any damage from the 8 racks, let's just nail everything, right? Maybe because of that, that's why he went so heavy Mewtwo, to try to get his lead to be even bigger there. But now we're in this position where if Rush plays this correctly, you just don't have anything that counters Marine Medic Siege Tank that's just sitting there with a couple of Valkyries. So a ton of lurkers are being made. 9 lurkers are literally being morphed right now. That is a huge amount. But it is very hard to force engagements how you want them against the Marine Medic Siege Tank. Just the damage output is so high. So look at this. Sets up his Siege Tanks. Yeah, sees a lot of lurkers there. They do unburrow and move back a little bit, but take a little bit of damage there as well. 3 Valkyries now. Oh my god, takes out the Scourge. Really well done. Defiler Mound is not even close to... I think Rush is just going to kill him straight up. The Mewtwo's look like maybe they're cutting off reinforcements, but it doesn't really matter. You have to get up here and burrow and kill the Siege Tanks, and there's no way to do that. There's just too many Marines in front. All right, well, here we go. He goes up here and gets that burrow off. And yeah, I guess this went exactly how it looked when I described the Queen's Nest timing versus the Siege Tanks. You can't ignore the possibility of this push. The thing is, if he has the factory coming and, like, the Queen's Nest starts at a similar time and you still make the Siege Tanks, you actually get behind because your vessels are going to be very late and the Siege Tanks aren't actually going to do very much at all, right? Like, the Dark Storm will literally be ready when you get to the natural. So, yeah, definitely, I mean, a very good choice there by Rush. And, yeah, Action having a little bit of a hard time with just nailing what he needed to do. Kind of weird. Because I feel like he's such a great late game Zerg. He's so good with Defilers specifically. But I have noticed that in the last couple years, Action has been trying to be a little bit more aggressive. But I don't think this is the way to do it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.